All right. I don't see anyone in yet, so I'm going to wait a few minutes. And in the meantime, I'm going to show. And if no one shows up, I'm going to tap on my own core beliefs. All right. So, still no one coming up. This is what I'm going to share today. First, I'm going to do my quick little grounding, and then we'll talk about core beliefs. So, if you're watching this, I invite you to put your 2 feet on the ground and close your eyes and take a few deep breaths in and out, and imagining you breathing in and out through your heart. Breathe in slowly, counting to 6. And then breathe out slowly through your heart and relax. And we feel our feet on the ground to literally ground ourselves and feel our hands and feel our body position. Take a deep breath in. Exhale and relax. All right. So, what are core beliefs? So, what happens when we are kids is that we receive and absorb a lot of information from our environment and from the people around us, including our parents and siblings and so on. And some of these ideas make their way into our subconscious minds. They capture and start shaping the way we look at our own world. They create your worldview and they prep us to look for the same patterns throughout our lives. And as we observe similar patterns in our life, we have a sort of sorting bias in our brain. And so we pay more attention to those things that resonate with what we learned in our childhood, again, very unconsciously. And so it reinforces that belief over time, so much so that it becomes our reality, to the point that some of us would say, I'm wired that way, or this is carved in stone, or I'm always going to be that way, or I can't change this. It's not in my power to change this. So I'm going to read some statements that are core beliefs so that you hear and remember all the times you heard those things. And if they, again, resonate with something you lived in your past, in your childhood, they will keep getting power and be part of that worldview construction. So, for example, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, or money doesn't grow on trees, or don't count your chickens before they hatch. All good things come to an end. Don't air your dirty laundry in public. Or things like, what makes you think you're so special? Or don't make waves. Things like, what comes up must come down. Or waiting for the second shoe to drop. All of these are just a handful of examples, but there's so many more. And if you are listening to this, take a note, take a piece of paper and a pen, and write down some of these core beliefs that are true to you. So, another one, for example, is better safe than sorry. So, when we look at these core beliefs, what we want to do is the same way as in the previous tapping circle, we evaluated and quantified our emotions or physical sensations from a scale of 1 to 10, where 1 was the least bothering you versus 10 the highest level of stress or pain. For core belief, we're going to do the same thing. However, it's reversed because we're going to give it a 10 for how much true that feels to us, and a 1 for it doesn't feel true at all. So if you take some of these sentences, money doesn't grow on trees, how true does that feel to you? And if it's a 5 or a 6 or 7, then that's probably a core belief for you. It's strong enough that you believe it strongly. And if that's the case, then write it down, write the level, your level of validity, what we call it, and you can tap on that. So I see we have one viewer right now. Can you tell me where you're calling from and what you would like to tap on today? We're talking about core beliefs, and we're going to explore a little bit of that. I will start tapping on one that has been pretty strong in my life, which is I'm not an entrepreneur. So what's going to happen when I do that? I'm going to repeat out loud for myself, I'm not an entrepreneur. How true does that feel on a scale of 1 to 10? A few months ago, I would have said it's a resounding 10. Right now, it's a little bit different because I've shifted that belief system for myself. But this is what we're going to do. We're going to repeat. I'm not an entrepreneur. Maybe for you, it's, I'm not worth X, Y, or Z. And we're going to tap on the side of our hand like we usually do. And we're going to tap at the general level to start with. I'm not an entrepreneur. Even though I'm not an entrepreneur, I deeply and completely accept myself. We repeat this 3 times. Even though I'm not an entrepreneur, or I'm not worth this or that, I accept how I feel. Even though I am not an entrepreneur and it feels like an 8 out of 10, I deeply and completely accept myself. And then we're just going to go through the round briefly at a very general level to see if anything comes up, any thought, any memory, even if it feels totally unrelated. That's exactly what we're digging for. I am not an entrepreneur. On the eyebrow, I've never been an entrepreneur. Side of the eye, I will never be an entrepreneur. I cannot have my own business because I'm not an entrepreneur. That's not in the works for me. Never been an entrepreneur, and I cannot be one. I am not an entrepreneur, and it feels so true to me. So once we did just one round, and you can do two or three if it's not enough to dig anything. Then first you will look at the level, the intensity level. Is it still true of one from a scale of 1 to 10? But also, did anything come up? And if you're watching here now, please comment in the chat where you're calling from and what would you like to work on today, because we can adjust. I can adjust to what you really want to work on. So when I tap, generally speaking, on the entrepreneur, one of the things that you can do on that core beliefs you're working on is, do you feel that somewhere? So we tapped at a very general level, but now we need to deep dive a little bit more specifically. So how do I feel physically when I think about entrepreneurship? And I can feel a tension in my heart. And it reminds me of my dad. So I'm just going to keep digging a little bit like this. Even though I'm not an entrepreneur and it feels like tension in my heart, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I feel this tension in my heart when thinking about entrepreneurship, I choose to relax now. Even though I'm not an entrepreneur and I can feel this stress in my heart, I deeply and completely accept myself. I can feel this in my heart. It's like a stress in my heart. It's constrictive. It's blue. It's soft. Yet it's still a stress. And it reminds me of Dad, because he was an entrepreneur. And I'm not an entrepreneur. And I'm not sure why. In fact, why not? Because I feel this stress in my heart because I'm not an entrepreneur. Or maybe I am an entrepreneur. Maybe a part of me can accept to let go of that. Maybe entrepreneurship is not that difficult. Maybe there's a connection to my experience of my dad as an entrepreneur. I'm not an entrepreneur. It feels lighter in my heart. I remember how my dad was struggling as an entrepreneur. And maybe it led me to think I could not be one. Because I would be struggling. I would be struggling. Was he an entrepreneur? Did I actually believe that he was? And what do I believe for myself? If I'm not an entrepreneur, then what am I? Is it carved in stone? Or do I have some choice here? What part of me chooses to be an entrepreneur? That part of me chooses to relax now. And right here, right now, I am an entrepreneur and I am safe. Right here, right now, I am safe. I thought I saw something happening on the comments, but it disappeared, so I cannot see. If you typed anything, I cannot see it. So you could retype it. So this is where we tune back in and we say out loud, I am an entrepreneur. How, or rather, the core belief is I am not an entrepreneur. How true is that right now on a scale of 1 to 10? And again, if it's not the core belief you're working on, maybe it's I'm not worth a promotion. How does it feel in your heart now? Oh, great. I know that one from Seattle. Welcome. So, what type of core belief do we have today? What is it? Is it about money? Is it about self worth? I don't know why the comments just keep disappearing. I don't know why. Hold on. Okay. What else could it be? Hold on. I took some notes earlier on for this. So, is it about money? Is it about self worth? Is it about your ability to achieve something? And that could be a sports performance, it could be vocation related, or is it something about health? I cannot lose weight. I am not in a position to be able to go back to my ideal weight. Or I'm not worth a loving relationship. So, all these domains of life are areas where we have built core beliefs. And the best way to explore it is just state it out loud and measure it and then tap on it. All right. So, if you can see me live, and I see we have a couple of people now, it would be great if you type in the comments what do you want to work on so I can kind of adjust to what you want to focus on and not talk about just my own stuff. And then we can do another couple of rounds of tapping. So another example of known core belief is better safe than sorry. So if you tap on that, first you say out loud, better safe than sorry. What does that mean to you? Is that something that's strong as a core belief for yourself? And on a scale of 1 to 10, is that a 7, 8, 9? And how does that impact you in your life? Does that mean you're not risk taking? Does that mean you're not willing to take new chances in your life? Okay, so we have, oh my goodness, the comments disappear. I can't see them. Ah, let me see if I can get to that comment in a different way. Hold on. So weird. Ah, there it is. I don't understand. I don't see them in the chat either. Maybe because I pinned my own and it just disappears for everyone else. So something, Derek, about your car. I mean, what is that about? I missed it. I'm so sorry. I started reading it and then it just disappeared. Let me go back to the other one. Brake repair. Oh, okay. Well, for sure. So then you can't have your car, right? So yeah, that could be annoying. How do you feel about this? What does it feel like? Physically, is it, and I'm not going to wait for your comments because I can't read them. But so there's a delay in the car repairs. Oh, I can't go back home because of the car repair delays. Wow. All right, so that must feel frustrating. I'm going to just offer some feelings about this. It could be stressful because you can't go back home the day you wanted. It can feel frustrating, can feel angering, like maybe you're angry at those people who are not repairing your car. All right, so we can just play with that a little bit. It's not a core belief, but that's okay. I want to address your needs. So even though they are taking some delay in repairing my brakes, and it makes me feel like X. Take a deep breath. I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though there are some delays with my car and I can't go home on by Wednesday like I wanted to, and it makes me feel frustrated, stressed, angry, and I feel that in wherever that is, in your throat, your heart, your chest, your back, your neck. I choose to relax now. And we do that a third time, even though they are delayed with my repairs, and it's so frustrating because it's impacting my plans to go back home. I deeply and completely accept myself. And then you're going to go through the points, top of the head, these car repairs. Eyebrow, my brakes are not ready. Side of the eye, they are not ready for me. Under the eye, it's so frustrating. And a little bit stressful because I can't go home on time. And maybe I'll offer this for you. Maybe I feel powerless. If it doesn't resonate, you can change the statements. But I can imagine how I feel powerless and it is so annoying. Under your arm, because I cannot control the outcome right now. On top of your head, other than being stressed and frustrated and maybe even angry. My car, side of the eye, my brakes, not having the power to control things. Things are not going the way I wanted. It's so frustrating. My car is not ready. And then I can't go home the way I wanted to. And I can feel that in wherever you feel it, whatever intensity you feel. And does that feeling have a shape or a color or texture that you can tune into? It is so frustrating and stressful. to not be able to control things, to feel powerless. And right here, right now, I choose to relax at least a part of me. Maybe a part of me understands this is just a car. It's my car, but it's just repairs for my car. And maybe a part of me can accept that right here, right now, I am safe. Okay, you can take a little break, maybe a little bit of sip of water, and then tune back into this issue right now that's probably stressing you or frustrating you, and certainly maybe even making you angry and feel that powerlessness, and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Again, feel where it is in your body. Has it moved? Oh, I could not see your comment, just disappears. I need to change something here. I have no idea what's going on. So weird. I'm going to unpin my comment, maybe. That will help. And then, did anything come up? That's the most important. Thank you. You're welcome. Now I can see. Okay, so I was doing something wrong with the comments, and now I can see them. And they should stay. Yes. Did anything come up, particularly when we talk about this hopelessness, powerlessness? Maybe a quick, like a flash of memory, or just a little, just a thought might have popped up. That's what we want to anchor on. That's what we want to go and dig a little bit further into. And usually people tell me when I do tapping sessions with people on one-on-one, it never misses. People say, oh yeah, I thought about this, but it has nothing to do with it. And in reality, it has everything to do with it. It's crazy. And what I've noticed is the following. The way your unconscious brain makes connections between different events in your life is eluding any logic and what we can explain consciously. And so when those things pop up, when you're tapping and a thought comes up and you think right away, but it has nothing to do with it. That's why it's so hard to tap by yourself, because by ourselves, we are biased enough to discard those thoughts that are popping up. So when I help people, I can see a shift in their body language or the way they just look. And I'm like, okay, what just happened right there? And they say, well, it has nothing to do with it. And I say, tell me anyway. And as they tell me, they start explaining a past event or a memory or something that happened, even if it's very trivial. And as they explain how they feel about it, they use exactly the same terms, the same words that they used for the original issue they were tapping on. And sometimes it's exactly what I'm looking for, is those words that come back, or the way they express a feeling in their body, and it's the exact same feeling. And that proves in a way that this is connected in your brain, and therefore that's where we need to go, and that's where we dig. And that's why I call it the archaeology of the mind. That's the fascinating part about tapping that I love. Anyway, so I'm not even looking if there's still someone in the room with me. I'm just going to do one round of tapping, and hopefully this will be useful for you watching this after the fact and just exploring your core beliefs. And then I'll give you a little exercise for the next time. So what we can do is a little bit of what we call sneaking away at the end of a tapping session. We most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, we do a sneaking away, which means we may have dug up something, but we may not have solved everything in one session of an hour. So we just help the brain connect back to safety in a way. And so we say, even though I have been in this tapping circle today, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have explored some core beliefs, I honor my effort. Even though I may not have solved everything or made all the connections from my brain with this tapping circle today, I choose to relax anyway. Today's tapping circle: exploring my core beliefs. I'm not sure I understand them all, but I honor myself for trying and exploring. And even if I have not solved everything, I'm grateful for the opportunity to try. And right here, right now, I am safe. And all these core beliefs I have, I will put them in a little container of my choice. And there you can think about what container you want to use. What's your most favorite way of separating yourself from something that's not working for you? The best way is imagine this container, put everything in there. And I put this container, whatever it is, I'm going to say it's a little golden box with a ruby on top and a little lock. Just trying out the imagination here. And I'm going to put that container, I'm going to put that container in the house in Brittany. I'm going to put it on top of one of the furniture in the house in Brittany. And whenever and if ever I'm ready, I'll be able to go back to that little box and work on my core beliefs again. And in the meantime, I am grateful for all the work I've done. And I honor my efforts to tend to myself, to my own stress and overwhelm and core beliefs. And right here, right now, I am safe. All right. Little stretch, little water, take notes of what comes up. And this is your homework for next week. So next week, I will be away from home and I will be trying this tapping circle from my phone. So good luck with that. We'll try it out anyway. So keep an eye on the reminders. And here's your homework. When it comes to core beliefs, we have a lot of those. Well, make sure you have something to write down, like a note on your phone or a little journal, a little piece of paper. And throughout the day and the evening, in the next week to come, every time you have a thought that is a very strong statement about what you believe, chances are that's a core belief. Stop yourself, write it down, and put a level of a scale and rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 how much true that feels for you. And hopefully you'll be able to identify a number of those, and just stick that list for the next tapping circles, because you can then use that as a starting point for whatever tapping you want to do. And if you ever decide to work with me, we would start with that, unless there's something really acute that you want to take care of, which always happens. But this is a part of a process called the personal peace procedure, which is reaching out your own inner peace by identifying all the things that happened to you that you have some kind of memory of and is potentially triggering or brings back some strong emotions, and core beliefs as part of that, and then systematically do tapping on those and keep digging into all these things that might pop up, those thoughts and other things. So anyway, so that's what I would recommend, and enjoy doing that. Have fun doing that. And I'll see you next week. Hopefully everything will work from the phone. If not, I'll send a little message in the group and I'll say it won't work. But I'm really looking forward to trying out from my phone, because then it means I can really do this from anywhere. So have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.